What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting. And it's not even close to show you how good or how close a day can go from good to bad. Let's quickly look back on our day from Tuesday. And the Cavaliers, wouldn't you know it, we play them on a day that they blow the biggest lead of the season. They were up 23. And they lost the game to the Pelicans. Mike Varner was on the right side. They just fell apart in the fourth quarter. And there you see the rest of our very, very light day. But as the maestro always says, on to the next. Let's bring in the stars of the show today. And I'm running four wide. First and foremost, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, guys. Definitely, that was a disgusting collapse by the Cavaliers last night. And to make matters worse, they lost Ricky Rubio to what looks like potentially a serious knee injury. That one, brutal, but love the college football action we got today. Let's do it.
We got 3 games today on tap, and that means we bring in our man, Tom. Take the bass out of your voice for Nelly. Tommy, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, there are 3 games today. Currently, we'll see if that stands. That, as we saw yesterday, sometimes the games that you think are playing this afternoon don't end up getting played this afternoon. So fingers crossed we get all 3 in.
Tommy, I live out here in the LA area, and the local news with the reaction from the UCLA fans that were on site yesterday. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, baby, they were hot. They were hot. Now, speaking of hot, this man, he gets mad at me all the time, but it's a big brother, little brother type of situation. Jay Smooth, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Excited to be back. We got some great college basketball today. Been watching the show. I got to bring that Chip energy. You know, I feel like there's a demand for it when he's not around. So,
whoa! There are levels to this game. Let's not get crazy. Chip Patterson's on another level. He's on it when it comes to energy, another level.
He is, yeah.
Maestro, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. I've recovered from an amazing sweat with Lehigh, Maryland. I don't know if anybody else was on that game, but one of the Lehigh guys, when they were coming down 19 with a chance to cut it, they were getting 22. He actually passed the ball to a Maryland guy to set up a dunk on the other side. He just didn't even know which uniform he was throwing to, but thankfully they got it done. But I just love it so much. It's a great sweat.
I don't know what's crazier. The fact that we just heard on this show, I love that sweat between Lehigh and Maryland, or the fact that it was on television.
You know what the funniest thing, Coach, the funniest thing was I was watching it on the Big Ten Network, flipping back and forth with the loser I had on Notre Dame. And during the game, they said, coming up after Lehigh, Maryland, 3 guys in the studio breaking down Lehigh, Maryland. I'm like, you're kidding me. There's nothing going on.
The classic game of the night. Let's send him back to the studio, and then you got him with the telestrator. It's a whole big thing. By the way, a little behind-the-scenes story. Whenever an analyst at ESPN would get a game he didn't want to do, oh, my, you would see the fights. I'm not going to break that down on the tele. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. All right, let's get into our storylines that could affect the betting lines today. And in the NFL, the Lions and the Seahawks are right in the line of fire for our man, the Maestro. You're up first.
Well, as bad as the Lions have been, they've been great for bettors. The number 1 team in the NFL against the spread, the Cowboys 12-3, the Packers 11-4, and then the Lions at 10-5, tied with the Colts, the best money-making team. Now Jared Goff comes back. They completely outplayed the Falcons. I was on the wrong side of that. They dominated the game. They stalled in the red zone, but I think with Goff back, all the issues with the Seahawks, Russell Wilson getting criticized by Pete Carroll for not throwing the ball away and taking the sack. The season looks pretty bleak down there. You know, is Carroll going to be back? He's 70 years old. I'm just surprised that this line is a full touchdown.
You're absolutely right. And this is, it just looks like a perfect opportunity to play the Lions. By the way, a little housekeeping I forgot to do at the beginning of the show. If we get to 200 likes live, if you're watching this live, pound that like button for me. If we give out 200, then I'm going to drop 1 year-long membership code into the chat. First come, first serve. But we have to get to 200 likes. All right. this college bowl season already has been crazy, and you got to have your heart on the table for these teams that don't get to play when they think they are going to play. Tommy, what do you got?
Yeah, like we mentioned, these games are being canceled, hours before the games are scheduled to start. So it's just a reminder that you have to, when you're placing a bet, pay attention not just to whether the game's being played, but who's playing in that game. You have to have as much information as possible with the opt-outs. And we're finding before kickoff, like there are a lot of players we know are missing games. And then we're finding out before kickoff that there are even more that we didn't know about. So just looking at the Oklahoma-Oregon game tonight, obviously Oklahoma, both teams lost their coaches. Lincoln Riley's gone to USC. Mario Cristobal's gone to Miami. Their coaching staffs have either followed them or moved on to other jobs. So both teams are under skeleton coaching staff. So that's one thing to consider. But then there are all the players on each team who have either entered the transfer portal, who are either going to the NFL draft and opting out, or because of COVID, there's been a report, from Matt Prem, who covers the Ducks for us for 24/7 Sports. Oregon could be without up to 30 scholarship players in the game tonight due to between players opting out, transferring, or being in COVID protocols. And these are things that you need to be on top of because A, it'll help make you from making a stupid bet without all the information that you have. And B, it might help you win some money by knowing something that maybe the market's not paying close attention to.
A perfect example of what you're talking about is our Western Michigan pick the other night. Right when it came onto the air, they're like, oh, they're missing these players, and then they're missing more players. And Western Michigan just rolled over whoever they were playing. I can't remember, but that's exactly what you're talking about. And I'll full disclosure, I've made one of those bad bets already this bowl season. I got lazy, didn't do my homework, and the game came on. I was like, what are you doing? What are you
feeling in the world when after you've got the bet and then the announcer's
Yes.
like, so this team is without 18 starters and they're actually playing some cheerleaders.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. And then if you're in our thread, M squared going, something really smart about the game and makes you feel even dumber. I even hate that even worse. And it happens all the time to me. All right, let's get into our board for the day. And by the way, if you're not a SportsLine member, what in the world are you doing? But that's okay. I'm in the holiday mood still. New Year's isn't here yet. So use that promo code EDGE because it's not going to be around forever. And I'm going to give you 30 days for free. You can play the playoffs. You can play the bowl season. You can play the NBA. Everything for free at SportsLine. Then after that, you're playing with house money. So we got one play today from the site. We're going to go Oklahoma -6.5 over Oregon. You just heard Tommy talk about it. Oregon, they barely had enough players to practice. Yes, we're talking about practice. So we're going to go Sooners -6.5. Now, I don't get to do this every single day, but it's one of my favorite things to do here at the brand. So let's get to our board right now. And M squared, you know the drill, son! Oh, feels good. Oh, the arm's looking good too. Yeah. Give it to me.
All right, let's head to the Cheez-It Bowl here. Clemson and Iowa State. I like Clemson in the game, but I'm playing in the first half only. So I need them to be winning at the end of the first half, -0.5 point, -110. I like Clemson here. Both of these teams, you question it with almost every team playing in a non-big time bowl or a non-playoff bowl, right? You question the motivation on both sides. Both teams really underperformed. Obviously, the focus is on Clemson, who underperformed by a greater magnitude, but Iowa State largely underperformed as well for the expectations that they had from that team. Now they're without Breece Hall. Huge, huge deal. Usually not that big of a deal when you lose a running back like that. There's usually an underclassman that can come in, that's up and coming, that's going to succeed. In this spot, he accounted for the most points in all of college football. He had 24 consecutive games with a touchdown, averaging almost 150 yards from scrimmage in every single game. That is a lot to replace against Clemson. Clemson, one thing that they did really well pretty much all season was the defensive side of the football. Now I like them in this spot. I think that they can run the ball pretty well. You've seen some emergence from Will Shipley and Kobe Pace. I expect a pretty heavy dose of them. I like them to be winning at the end of the first half. I do think the Iowa State team will be motivated. Campbell wants to send the seniors out with a win. I think that they will fight hard all the way through the distance of the game, but I think that they're clearly outmatched here in terms of talent. I think there's a massive talent gap between the two teams. So give me Clemson -0.5 point, -110 in the first half of the game.
And if anybody's been paying attention, Mikey, to Clemson in the second half of the season, they started to really find their mojo. And this team is starting to look like Clemson of old. And this number is just too good to pass up. I love this play. All right. Tommy, I want to stay in college football right now. So if you don't mind, sir, I have a feeling you have a pick today that's going to kick off in the afternoon, but it feels good to me. What do you got?
Yeah, we're going to Yankee Stadium for the Pinstripe Bowl this afternoon between Maryland and Virginia Tech. And like we've talked about with the Oklahoma-Oregon game, there are a lot of opt-outs to be aware of in this game. Now, Maryland's had some players enter the transfer portal, but they've been gone for a while. They've been practicing without them for over a month. Virginia Tech, on the other hand, it fired Justin Fuente after the season. Brent Pry's been brought in, hired. He's the new head coach, but he's not coaching in this game right now. J.C. Price will be serving as the interim coach of his skeleton crew over a skeleton roster, because this is just a list of players the Hokies will be out today. Starting quarterback Braxton Burmeister, gone. Backup quarterback Knox Kadum, gone. Starting offensive lineman Lecitus Smith, started every game this season, gone. Leading receiver Trey Turner, gone. Second leading receiver Tavion Robinson, gone. Edge rusher Amare Barno, 3.5 sacks, 5.5 tackles for loss, gone. Starting defensive tackle Jordan Williams, 2.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, gone. Their top cover corner Jermaine Waller, who will be one of the first corners taken in the draft next season, who had 4 interceptions, a pick 6, 5 other passes broken up, gone. All those guys are missing from the Hokies today. There is no reason in the world why you should be betting on the Hokies. So I'm taking Maryland minus 3.5, but full disclosure, I was able to get them earlier in the week before the line moved as far as it did. And if you think that 3.5 is a little too scary, that hook's hurting you, the good news is you could take the money line. SportsLine expert Matt Severance is doing that. He's on the money line, I think, at minus 150 something, but he's in that area. So if you're not comfortable thinking that hook could get you because maybe you don't trust Maryland's run defense, that's fine. Take the money line. There's value there too, but I'm going to lay the points with the spread.
You got either way, we've got you covered. You know what, Tommy? I'm just waiting for the day that we hear Jay Smooth, gone! All right. Now, I want to switch my focus just real quick to college basketball for a second. And this man has the machine that is always churning, always churning. So today, what is the machine churning out, Jay Smooth?
Well, Coach, today the machine has a pick on Seton Hall. We're going to grab this at +1, but, actually it flipped right before the show. This happens a lot. So it's honestly going to be at -1 right now in most books. If you can shop around and find that +1, it's great. But I do like Seton Hall to win. So you can take the money line. You can take the -1 if you don't want to pay that extra little bit of juice. But I think Seton Hall is the right pick on this game. I think they're the stronger team in the Big East here. This is a really big game for both these teams. Providence, who they're playing, has been great this season, 11-1, outperforming expectations in non-conference play. But this is where they're going to be really tested. And Seton Hall is likely going to be that number 2 team behind Villanova coming out of this conference. So I expect Seton Hall to be able to get this done, even though they're on the road. They're a strong team. They're going to be pesky for anybody. And the way I'm seeing it, they should have an advantage on both sides of the ball. So I'll be taking Seton Hall -1. I have +1, but I like -1 still. They're going to get this one done today.
All right, very good. And always follow my man on social media. He's always dropping knowledge. And every time to time, dropping some picks there as well. Now, the anchor position in our show is a very coveted position, and it was invented because of this man. So, Maestro, the floor is yours.
All right, a big night in college hoops. I'm going to look at Alabama laying the points. I got this at 2 last night, posted on SportsLine. I'm seeing 2.5. I'm seeing 3 now. Tennessee coming off an unbelievable performance. They take down Arizona, led wire to wire. Many people thought Arizona was going to come in. I also thought Arizona was going to come in and win that game. Alabama, I mean, they've been bad the last 3 games. Lost to Memphis, barely beat Jacksonville State, lost to Davidson. But yet they're favored. This is a team that beat Gonzaga, that beat Houston, that beat Drake. They have the talent to step up their game. It's going to be electric. And for 8 days, Nate Oates has told them how bad they've been playing defensively, how they've not been physical enough. And I just think the focus will be there. It's going to be a tremendous ball game, but I'm going to play the slight home favorite in Alabama.
I like that a lot. And as a former hoops college player myself, I can tell you that first game after Christmas, the motivation, the focus is always the hardest thing to do. So you always take the home team because they're the ones that just came back from home or all that kind of stuff and didn't have to travel. Think about that for a second. All right, we're up against it. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the recap. AB's on the 1 to 2, so it's always a little. Oh, there you go, AB. Very good. Glorious. Maestro, he's on Alabama -2.5. Jay Smooth, Seton Hall, +1 or -1, depending on what book you have. He likes it either way. M Square, we're going to Clemson in the first half, -1.5 point. Then Tommy's on Maryland -3.5. Or if you want to follow the lady killer, Maddie Severance, he's on the money line. It's somewhere between 150 and 180 right now. Then from SportsLine, we're going to go Oklahoma -6.5 over Oregon. Be very careful here. You heard Tommy say both coaching staffs are in flux. A lot of players have opted out. We like the Sooners, who actually have a quarterback who's played really, really well at times this year. And I'll take a good quarterback over anything at this time of the year. All right. The AB3 today, by the way, we're going to go straight money line. Maryland, Clemson, Oklahoma, tasty +275. All right. There's only one thing left to do. And you all know what that is. We grind. We grind every day for you at home. And we appreciate all of the positive support. As you all know, it's the long game. It's 365. And for those who choose to be negative, it's your only way to get to us. It's not going to work because you've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. Maestro, M Squared, J Smooth, Tommy, and of course, AB on the 1s and the 2s. And a big thank you to the jeweler dropping in that one-time code. Somebody is the newest member to the SportsLine community, and we love you for it. All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning live at 10 a.m. and tell all your friends about the early edge. Good luck. Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things early edge.